The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Tonight, Travis Robinson, Deputy Chairman of the F&M, is here. He's made known his intention to contest Fort Charlotte. So, is he afraid of who else might be interested in the seat? A legitimate question tonight. Don't look at me that way because I know you didn't expect that. Former Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguila says Killarney MP and former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis should stand down for the sake of the F&M. Does Robinson agree? Also tonight, the Emancipation Day Junkanoo Parade, a flop for vendors. Even though there was a Junkanoo Parade, it was a small turnout based on what the Emancipation Day Junkanoo would normally look like. We'll talk about that and tell you exactly how groups were held hostage by the JCNP this Emancipation Day. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, he's part of the leadership structure of the Free National Movement. He's also seeking a nomination in Fort Charlotte for the upcoming 2026 general election. Tonight, F&M Deputy Chairman Travis Robinson is here to answer a number of questions, tell us when the party's full slate will be rolled out, and speak to one of the most important issues that many of you are paying very close attention to this election cycle, immigration. And so let's get it started this evening. Good evening to you, Travis. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Shanique. It's a pleasure to be here. And good evening to the wider Bahamas and your listening audience.
Good evening to you again. I want to jump right in because we have a lot to get to. I know you are itching to get to a lot, but also so am I. And so let's just jump in right here. Let's just start with this. Recently, you said after it was made public that Sebas Bastian might be interested in politics and possibly in the area that you are interested in running in. You said, what more does Sebas want? What did you mean by that?
Shanique, again, thank you for having me. Let me say from the onset that we live in a democratic country and that once you meet the requirements in the Constitution, 21 years of age, of sound mind, and any other requirements set out, you are free and able to run in this country. And so Sebas is no exception, should he desire to put his hat in the race. I look forward once I am completed with my party's own internal process. Whomever the candidate will be, we will put boots on the ground as we have been for the past 3.5 years, knocking on doors and sharing our vision to the people.
So you kind of rolling that back and pulling back from that initial response.
No, Shanique, I stand on every statement I made, and the point is that we also accept that we are in an open and democratic country, and so whomever it may be, pastors, politicians, number men, clergy, it's open.
I apologize.
Open
I didn't mean shut up. I could see where you think you're taking that. Listen, as you said, it's democratic. Anybody can run.
Yes.
Let's just move right on. Travis Robinson. Let's move right on. Travis, the Magnificent 17, as you coined it, during the live broadcast on the rollout. For the Free National Movement. How are they coming along? How are they being received in the various constituencies that they were officially nominated for?
Our Magnificent 17, or some would call it the Frontline 17, are hard at work, knocking on doors, talking to people in their communities about the issues that impact them on a daily, issues of cost of living, the immigration crisis, the health collapse in our country. They are making tremendous inroads. And I can tell you, Shanique, from the looks of things, Abaco has gone red, Eleuthera has gone red, Michael Andrus has gone red. The people are feeling the Free National Movement. And despite what political pundits want to coin our party to be, we are gaining traction on the ground, and the people have faith in the FNM.
You absolutely, now, you know, Travis, and you are the most excellent pitchman, because sometimes you hear, and I'm not going to dispute what you are saying, you are here to speak officially for your political organization, but you hear different things. You hear of the infighting, you hear of the disagreements, you hear of the squabbles here and there. You are saying basically those are non-truths.
What I am saying, Shanique, is that what the FNM has been able to put out, it does not stand up against what the political pundits are trying to say. Sure, the FNM is not a perfect party. We have our issues. But the few persons who we have that are, displeased by the rollout or the decisions of the council, which is the highest body outside of a convention, we acknowledge them, we see them. But what we're saying to the Bahamian people and to FNMs all around is that the FNM train has left the station, and we're leaving with those who are ready to go. And we will circle back when those other persons who are disillusioned and disappointed that their selection had not been the choice, when they get on board, we welcome them on board. But we have a bigger picture of saving this country from the brink of economic collapse that we are experiencing right now.
But don't you think it's important for the FNM, who has been hit hard and sometimes by its own blows, to try as best as it can as it moves forward, to try and bring everyone at the same time as it moves forward? And because it really is a party who is fought, in my opinion, I've said it before on the show, sloppily in the open for so long that it almost makes you say, okay, what's happening now and how are you looking now? Don't you think the FNM needs to try and make amends as it moves forward and not kind of say, okay, are you already now looking back?
Shanique, we're doing that every day. The leadership team is traveling the length and breadth of this country, speaking to those persons who may be disenchanted, speaking to association members. But we have a clear goal, and the goal is the Bahamian people. So we're spending most of our energy on putting together the platforms and the policies that we will execute for the Bahamian people when we take office. We will always have noise in the market, but I want to encourage FNMs out there to remain steadfast in your party. The Bahamian people know that the FNM is the best party to govern this country. When the FNM is in power, economic stability is returned. Bills are paid and paid on time. The FNM is the best party for this country, and the Bahamian people would not be sidetracked by one or two voices that have differences of opinion.
When can we expect the full rollout? Because people are saying, the opposition is dragging. It's dragging its feet. It is losing opportunity to gain ground, to actually roll out its full slate so that Bahamians across the nation can know who's who and who's running where.
Shanique, the FNM is being strategic in its rollout of our candidates. We've rolled out 17. The PLP has rolled out 0.
But the PLP have incumbents.
Yeah, but the incumbents who don't even know if they're getting re-elected inside their party. You see, some of them have already announced they're not running anymore. They're still thinking about it. So while the FNM gets 17 frontline warriors knocking on doors, the PLP have 0 ratified candidates knocking on doors. And that's the fact. We are focused on getting the message to the Bahamian people. Economic empowerment. When we look at the cost of living, it has skyrocketed. It's skyrocketed because we got a reverse psychology from the PLP. They say they reduce VAT from 12% to 10%. And then they put VAT on every other thing across the board. So when you pick up your baby food and your baby diapers and you see the VAT on that, the PLP did that. When you pick up your medication just to try to survive in your most critical time and you see the VAT on that medical bill, the PLP did that. When you see VAT on your feminine products for women, etc., the PLP did that.
So if an FNM administration were to be elected for the next general election or in the next general election, would the FNM go and immediately reverse all of that and remove VAT from all those various areas that you just mentioned?
Shanique, I can say on behalf of the Free National Movement that we will repeal VAT on those breadbasket items. We will repeal VAT on feminine products for women. We will repeal VAT on bread on baby items or baby food across the board. The leader, Michael Pintard, has said this on many occasions. We are about lightening the load for the average Bahamian, for all Bahamians across the board. Gone are the days where foreigners come to your country, live better, do better, and succeed more than Bahamians in our own country.
But surely, Travis Robinson, that's not just started. I mean, I'm Travis.
It's not just started.
Travis, if we remember the grand sale of property all the way further west from where we are right now this evening, and a gentleman who came with a brilliant FTX proposal that he bought up a ton of property. Bahamians were also involved in that because only certain of what I'm saying then is this idea that foreigners come here and benefit more than Bahamians, and they live better and they have better deals even if we employ them, or that has not just started. That's long been an issue.
Yes, you're right, but guess what? The PLP in 2021, they say it is a new day. You know what happened? We have not seen a new day. We have seen a nasty nightmare. People's lives are deteriorating on the streets.
So then the FNM,
and so the
FNM would stop immediately having foreigners come in and benefit and live better and have better deals and be foreign direct investors to be able to do more and gain more from the Bahamian people than what's happening right now. That's been the practice for decades.
The FNM is under new management. Michael Clifton Pintard is the new leader of the Free National Movement, the twice duly elected leader, and he is ushering us into the next general election, and by the help and grace of God and the Bahamian people, he will be the next Prime Minister of the country.
I know that, I'll tell you this, I know that this is a political discussion, obviously, but people are taking exception because I'll tell you, when somebody who perhaps would be an opponent, you refer them properly as a businessman. I mean, we ain't going no further than that.
Yes.
And don't try slip in nothing else in the side there. But let's move on. Let's move on, Travis. Let's move on. Travis, let's move on. Travis, you mentioned that there's a health collapse. These are words and I know that they are good little trending buzzwords and whatever, but let's hear what it is that the FNM is describing and seeing as a health collapse in the Bahamas.
Well, Shanique, anyone who has visited the PMH or the RAN could see for themselves. The basic necessity of equipment, gauze, band-aids, etc., are not present in our hospitals. So much so, when you get to the root of some of these issues, it's because vendors who supply these things have not been paid. They've not been paid.
They've not been paid since when?
For months, and in some cases for years. I'm reliably informed, Shanique, of a vendor who have now submitted a demand to PHA, a final demand to receive their fundings for services and equipment supplied that they have not been paid for years. Their next
years dating back
over the next last 3 years, thereabout.
You're saying that health...
And they are aware of it, and if they would be truthful and transparent to the Bahamian people, they will come clean and advise the people and the nation why these clinics and hospitals are so low on so many of these equipments and necessary resources to treat the Bahamian public. But you know what? They, as ministers, they have private health insurance. And I know it because I was a former MP myself. We have private health insurance, so while mommy and daddy and your friend down the road, they go into PMH, we could go to doctor's hospital.
But I'm happy you mentioned that, Travis.
Overseas.
And you travel overseas.
So it is a need for the government to focus on the Bahamian people
the public health care system. But
privileges.
You're absolutely right, and I want to say this. You mentioned that even when you sat in government and also you held a position in government as well.
Secretary,
yes. That you enjoyed the benefit of private health insurance and all the rest of it, and access to the best health care, whether it's here or elsewhere. The thing is, PMH or the public health care system didn't just get here. It has always been limping along.
Yes.
What did the FNM do, and how much has it regressed, since you would say that, from the time you all were voted out to now? And what did the FNM do to try and help this system that's been limping along now for decades? PMH has been in this position now for quite some time to be better than it is now.
Shanique, you would know that we started the process of renovations to the hospital. I think we would have completed one of the blocks there recently, the newer block at PMH. I think that's one of the critical care block.
The block, the same block. Wait a minute, Travis. Wait,
yeah,
no, but I'm happy that. No, but I respond to each point you make. That I remember being a reporter and talk show host during that time.
And that was recently. I'm talking about recently under the former FNM administration.
The most recent one.
The most recent one.
But I'll tell you, you would remember. Yes, it was. But you would remember so many times the theaters were out of commission. Why? Because either air conditioning units were broken down or whatever other issue was happening. So I say that to say Princess Margaret Hospital and the various clinics, but let's just deal with that big cruise ship that is called Princess Margaret Hospital,
yes,
that has always had issues.
Yeah.
What is it that the FNM did to bring that along better?
Shanique,
It was so funny.
Recently,
I went to the hospital, unfortunately, to have to visit someone, and the hardworking staff. I'm not talking about them, but just the conditions, and you see the place. It is somewhere.
It is the hospital is not some place for anyone to be visiting because of the state is in. I started to talk about the projects that we started. Mm-hmm. We started renovation, and one of the blocks already complete and being utilized. We started the accident emergencies complete and being utilized. So we have made significant steps to advance PMH. Did we do all we needed to do? No. Mm-hmm. But the PLP in 2021, they said it is a new day.
That they have the answer.
We have retrogressed.
What do you think?
We did not improve.
What do you think? If we have, that's excellent. We would need a response to it, because I want to ask you this: what do you think of the health centers that are being built now? I'm not even referring to the new hospital that is on the drawing board. I'm talking the health centers that are being built here in New Providence and the Family Islands. What are your thoughts on those to help further along and to kind of act as stand-ins and where people can go and get immediate health care better than it's available now that are being built?
Shanique, we believe in the theory that a rising tide lifts all boats. So if they're building health centers throughout the communities, etc., we support that. Anything that advances the Bahamian people, the FNM support. But we support transparency in the process as well. We don't know what these heads of agreements look like. We don't know what these contractual agreements with these various vendors look like. So much so, Shanique, I am reliably informed of many P&P vendors who have to go to private lending institutions to borrow money for the mobilization of their contracts that they got from government, with hopes that the government will then reimburse them, they could pay the loan back, and then carry on the work that they are being granted. Months later, for one company, almost 3 years later, not a single dollar in hand from this administration. That's not how Bahamians should be treated, Shanique. We are saying the government is traveling around on their private planes and jets and all that. Pay the Bahamian people what you owe them. So much so, Shanique, we are to a point where even PLPs who got contracts, they are not even being paid. So my God, Shanique,
where you got that from, Travis?
Man, everybody got someone who they know someone on. You know how this thing goes. That's one country, Shanique.
Travis.
PLP is still waiting on their payments for work that they have been done.
Who are the
so how much more, Shanique,
who are the
do
PLPs?
you think the PLP think about the average Bahamian, who we don't even have a chance to get anything if you went inside the inner circle?
Travis, who are the PLPs? That's what I'd like to know, because Travis, I know you come here to just play it, just throw words around and
Shanique,
be loose with
these
words.
are the facts. These are the facts. I speak to facts. When I speak factually. And if needed, I can produce those documents. My point is, we are living in a tough economic climate in this country today. Bahamian people are tired of buzzwords, fancy PR that the PLP seem to be so gung-ho on, and it does not translate
so let's go there. Let's go there. You have more than once now in this very interview talked about the fact that, as you say, buzzwords in terms of, oh, we're going to address the standard of living and inflation and bring it down and the cost. What is the FNM plan on doing? Because inflation, as you know, started during COVID, and it's just continued to escalate, not only here in the Bahamas, elsewhere as well. What is it that a Pintard administration will do to immediately address inflation? immediately address immigration, which is a thorn that's decades old. What is it that a Pintard administration is ready on day one to get started with? Inflation.
So, Shanique, I mentioned it already. On day one, we are committed to reducing the VAT on breadbasket items, medication, baby products, feminine products. That will have a tremendous relief for people, particularly in the medical arena, persons who are on their dialysis and different medical pills that they need. That will be a tremendous relief just out the gate. You're talking about immediately on day one. As it relates to immigration, we have launched a press release, a press conference.
But one second, you know, Travis, you have to come back. Here's why. Anywhere in the United States, Canada,
Yes.
Europe, people understand. And see, this is where you politicians have got to stop pandering to people and also misleading them. Taxes are a way of life, and they must be paid for a government to get things done. How is the F&M going to try and change the mindset of Bahamians that they can get all of this for nothing?
Shanique, it's not all of these. These are basic things that have already been in place. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
But from
we made it work before.
But
we can do it again.
Travis, how?
We
Because
made
from
it work
2021 to now 2026, the cost of living is different. Things have changed, and it's so much.
And so that is an obligation for the government to be innovative, to pivot and address new.
Well, how can the people trust the F&M to be innovative, pivot, and be more strategic when you see it appears the F&M is fumbling even now just to be opposition?
That is the words that the pundits want you to believe, that the F&M is in shambles, and we are far from that. The F&M is committed. We're working every day to provide plans and policies for the Bahamian people that they could believe in, and they will see the difference. We have a whole suite of anti-corrupt legislation policies that we will put in place and legislations we will bring. We talk about immigration, Operation Shield. We had a whole press conference delineating
people still want to know. Listen, you all made
what
Shield,
our immigration policy
the
is.
F&M made Shield an
the
acronym,
Prime
but
Minister
people are
of
still
this
saying
country
the F&M
said that there
made
is no immigration crisis. And we reject that wholeheartedly because we don't know what country he's referring to.
When did the immigration crisis start?
He is in the chair now. To whom much is given, much is required. They find time to travel. They find time to have, matter of fact, they're asking for a second term. That's not true. They're asking for a third term. They already in their second term. Do you remember when they prorogued the host in the beginning? About a year or so after the election, they prorogued the host and brought it back for another sitting.
I have to ask my
They're
panel.
now asking for a third term.
They
have done nothing.
Travis, you saying something?
They've not done.
Travis, you have become. It's my show. Hush.
Shanique,
you have become quite a skilled politician with the word. No. I'm going to invite you on. You will come on. You will come on again. I tell you. Of course, as you know, Travis just really just kind of have to sit in for someone else who was scheduled to come on the show this evening, and he came here and he came armed with a lot. But I want to hold you to a lot of these things and further discuss them. I thank you for coming in this evening. You certainly got a lot going, I'll tell you that. But quite interesting things that you were saying, and also want to hear more of what the Free National Movement intends on doing and has planned if it is elected at the polls in 2026. I thank you once again, Free National Movement Deputy Chairman Travis Robinson, for being here this evening.
Thank you, Shanique. I just want to say to the Bahamian people, hold the faith with the Free National Movement. This is your party. I know that the Bahamian people, you trust the F&M more than you trust the PLP. Remember that trust you had in us. We will deliver for you on day one. We are under new management, Michael Clifton Pintard, next Prime Minister of this country. And when we get the opportunity, we will work every day for you.
Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Carrie's Fabrics and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school. Find ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for all schools in the Bahamas. Carrie's also sells skirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers, boys' shorts, and pants. You can even have your uniform skirts custom made. Also find school bags, school supplies, socks, and underwear. That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. Call 393-0758.
Pain hits fast, so get relief fast. Only Tylenol Rapid Release Gels have laser-drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. And now, get Max Strength Topical Pain Relief precisely where you need it with Tylenol Precise.
I can clean your teeth, but I can't wash your whole mouth.
Yes, we're toothbrushes, not mouth brushes.
Listerine works with brushing to deliver 5 times more cleaning power, plus it contains clinically proven essential oils.
For whole mouth health, Listerine. Wash your mouth.
I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, 'cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. You feel like velvet rubbing over my skin, and when you're
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you tuned in this evening. I know a lot of you have a lot to say on Travis Robinson. I'll tell you this, I'll invite him back. This time, that was a different kind of interview, but you know what? He has a lot to answer to and a lot to explain further. And I think I also have somebody else that they can respond as he speaks. But I thank, of course, the Hot Topics panelists who were sitting on the sidelines, listening to everything that Travis had to say, how Travis said this is a brand new effort. You know what? I didn't even ask Travis his thoughts about what D'Aguilar had to say about Kalani Member of Parliament and former Prime Minister, because he just went on. However, the panelists here were listening though, and I'm very happy to have them here because I want to know some stuff. Travis said this is already the third term for the PLP because the PLP prorogued the House soon after coming into office. I don't recall it, but perhaps, who knows? I mean, geez, it's been a minute. Okay, so let's just see exactly if he's right or not, and maybe to fact check some of the stuff that he said. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, BTH contributors Leslie Miller and Glenroy Pratt. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you.
Good evening to you, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
You all sat and listened to Travis. Travis talked about, and some of it was obviously his information he just wanted out there. I could not respond to whether or not vendors for the healthcare system are owed and not paid, and if there are no Band-Aids and gauzes and whatnot in clinics and all this. I could not respond to that. He came there with that, and he intended just to kind of like do a mic drop with that. The Ministry of Health will have to come and respond to that, Public Hospitals Authority. But let's just start where we can. Did the government at some point early on prorogue the House, and Travis said that now they're into a third term? Does Travis actually know what he's saying? I know he's one of the young chaps in the FNM, and he has all that energy to bring.
Because he was in Parliament before, he should know better.
But let's talk about it. Go ahead, Leslie.
No, I'm saying he was in Parliament before, he should know better. You know, when the House is dissolved is when you have election. It's prorogue is when you come in to read your budget again. Happens every year. I don't know what he's talking about, but I think the guy lived between here and the Twilight Zone. I'm listening to him, you know?
I think, yeah, I mean, obviously he was indicating the proroguing of the House, meaning that the new agenda is already set for the current administration. Yeah. So when they return, they will have a new agenda, and that being at the top, as Leslie is mentioning, is the budget.
It's the budget. Now, he mentioned stuff about the healthcare system, and as you all would know, and I pointed out to him, listen, man, that ain't nothing new. What did the FNM do when they were in power to help it further along? Yes, he mentioned the new block built under the former administration. Of course, we all know that worked 50% of the time, and other 50% it didn't work because of just ongoing issues at the institution that is Princess Margaret Hospital. But your thoughts on how he described it? He says it's a public health collapse.
Well, let's be clear, right? The hospital situation has been an ongoing challenge that the country's been facing over the years. But also, let's be clear as well. I mean, and obviously under the former administration, when they were facing COVID and the likes, there were so many different critical issues that were facing the healthcare system that upkeep of a building was not paramount and not the priority. When you also look at the critical care block, that was something that was started and completed under the former administration to be utilized and to be maintained. One of the problems that governments have is maintaining the building edifices that they build. And so if you're going to build these large edifices and all these different things and not maintain them, what's the point? You know, the reality is that we have to start now taking a serious approach of having a grouping of people within these organizations that are responsible for the upkeep of these places. And if they're not doing their job, we need to let them go. The fact is the Bahamian people are on the hook consistently because of the taxation that we are facing and having to replace and replenish things that have been allowed to become dilapidated and to come to a deteriorated state. The statement about the issues facing the healthcare center is factual in the sense that you go to some institutions, some of these clinics, try to get medication and the likes, they run out. You go inside some of these places, look at how, I mean, listen, the hospital in some areas looks like a dump. I mean, it looks like a dump, quite frankly. And if we're going to get serious about our institutions, we need to start looking at our people. If we take our people more seriously, then our institutions will look much better. People have to work in these conditions, and they have to perform in these conditions.
Glenroy, I'm happy you said that. Leslie, I'll let you jump in a second, but I'll tell you this, and I have a great appreciation for it. Not that I like it or even the thought of it, but when I speak to family and friends elsewhere in different countries, the United States, Canada, Europe, you know how they can afford to have wonderful healthcare systems and multiple healthcare systems or options in terms of where they go to seek care. Again, taxing, it is something we detest. We don't want to hear that word, and I'm not suggesting that you tax the Bahamian people. I'm just saying, though, this is how they get things done. This is how things are done. Am I right or wrong, gentlemen?
No, you're right. You know, I've had the privilege of going to the Princess Margaret Hospital at least 5 times a day for the last month of my life. Yes, in fact, today, I'm going back when we leave here. My good friend and mentor, Dr. Norman Gay, who was the Minister of Health for 2 terms, and who spent a quarter century in Parliament, isn't in the best of physical condition right now, and he's up in the open ward. I am told today that Mr. Davis, once he found out what the situation was, now have him in a private ward at the hospital. I'm very thankful for that, especially his wife and his 2 children, that he is taking care in the manner that he should have been taken care of from the very beginning. When I go to the hospital, the first thing that really bugs me as a regular fellow is the attitude of the doctors and the nurses are not the friendliest. You know, you go in the hospital, you're really down and out, for a family member or a friend who's sick, they wouldn't even say morning. 90% of them don't even say morning to you.
Absolutely.
It bothers me because I try to be friendly and everybody try to be friendly. The podcast can talk to everybody and make a joke here and there, but their complaint is that there's so much need to be done at that hospital. I mean, the doctors complain, the nurses complain. Mr. Miller, be out of this. Be short on that. I mean, that's a fact. You can't deny that.
Yep.
And what irks them, I think, and irks a lot of people is that here we are, borrowing about $250 million put in a new hospital. Fine, we need it. But, let's upgrade what we got and keep that running properly.
Yeah, but I don't know, guys. Here's how I see that. Get that new hospital built.
Yes.
I don't know if it can necessarily be from the
It's not gonna have
outset be a
whole
specialty hospital.
Okay.
I think get that built
Yes.
so that that's running efficiently,
Yes.
and then let's look and see how we could
But we can tandem with each other.
Well, or
we don't
that,
have to build one and then
that.
go back to the old one.
No.
Upgrade the old one as you go along.
No, but listen to me. That has been upgraded. You know when you put a piece of tape on something
Yes.
for so long,
Yes.
that you gotta kind of
no,
stop
what-
for a moment and look at that and say,
The
what,
nurses
how
are
to do
saying
this?
we are out of basic stuff. The doctors are saying the same thing. I've heard it over and
so
repeatedly.
this is why I say, you all, and we have got to somehow begin really thinking about this. If we want the first world access right here at home to different things, we've got to understand that those people pay for what it is they enjoy.
Yes, but
and I'm not, and Shanique is not at all, because listen, maybe if I was on the six-figure area, because on 7, because what I'm trying to say, I am not at all suggesting to raise taxes or more taxes. All I'm saying is, how are we going to come to a happy median and understanding that to get that hospital fixed and the new one operating efficiently and every health center around this nation also operating efficiently?
Yeah, but Shanique, we got to understand also, it's not the fact that the Bahamian people don't accept the fact that taxation is a must.
Exactly.
The reality is,
prioritizing.
Is when you're prioritizing
Yes.
and you're also using our funds in a way that is frivolous and also spending our money that we know that you're padding these contracts and getting these people more monies than they deserve to do the jobs that they're doing. And so at the end of the day, it causes a ripple effect. This is why we have VAT today, because of bad behaviors and bad habits. If we get serious about our economy, there's no reason why we shouldn't have a world-class hospital. Yes. And there's no reason why we shouldn't have a world-class schools in our system. We only a nation of what? 400 and something thousand people. We have billions of dollars coming.
The last census say under 400,000.
Well, even that. The fact is we still have billions of dollars coming into these shores. And the fact is that we aren't where we should be with the amount of money that comes into this country.
Glenroy, spot on. And we have said it before many times. We said, how are we negotiating these heads of agreement? More than a cleanup campaign should. More than a cleanup campaign.
They don't have what here to what you're doing.
More than a cleanup campaign should be coming from major investors, and that's fantastic. Great, you adopt a park and you clean it up and keep it clean every so often. That's excellent. But we should now say, guess what? You're coming in with $1 billion investment or several $100 million investment. We expect you to the roads or health centers or schools, whatever it is.
Buy Bahamian-made products.
But certainly that should be a part of it. What I'm saying is, how are we agreeing? How are we agreeing and negotiating? Because we've now got to negotiate from a position of strength, so that we, the Bahamian people, can turn around and say, wow, good. This is built because of that. This is here. This is that.
If you got rookies, people don't know what the hell they're doing. What you expect? Listen, no one loves the Princess Hospital more than Leslie Miller. I always talk about the Princess Hospital and the good service. Me and Mary was a minister and I got sick. Where did I go? Princess Margaret. I've never been in Doc's Hospital in my life. Nor will I ever go there.
Or fly away.
I tell my children, take me. I go to Princess Margaret. Why? Because the service is basically the same. The doctors are the same. Because all the doctors work at Doctor's Hospital have a contract with our hospital, okay? We have our little hiccups here and there, but I listen to people, I listen to the nurses, listen to some of the rookie doctors, and I take to heart what they say. In some areas, they are falling down and they would wish to have all the necessary equipment, all the necessary supplies there on hand at all times. They're not complaining, they're just saying, we could do better. Please have it there when we need
give
it.
them more to work with.
That's all they're saying.
But just the other day,
And that's only fair.
the nurses union were complaining about the government in terms of their ability to pay the people on time.
Yes.
Basically bringing in foreign workers when you still have people who are actually
Exactly.
not even
Upgrade what you have.
confirmed and
That's
they're
what he
still
was saying.
working and not confirmed. And yet you bring in doctors and nurses and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
The reality is we got to get serious. We got to stop these games that we're playing in this country. People are hurting out there, and our country is behind because of the kind of bad decisions we're making. Leslie Miller just talked about the fact that the government is borrowing $200 million to do certain things. I mean, if we borrow $200 million, we're still short on beds. Our schools look deplorable in some instances. We still got people struggling to live and to survive. Our streets look like a... And listen, there's been a proliferation of rats in this country. I mean, it's like they're prospering, in this country as of late.
The
rats got suitcases and luggage now. How much rats in this country?
You say the rats are prospering?
They're prospering.
Let me tell
It's
you
a
why.
new day for the rats.
Let me tell you
And the
why.
fact is, we got to fix these problems.
Let's just be real now. Gentlemen, they've been big and fat.
Hanging out on the fence and stuff.
Gentlemen, no, but they're hanging out. But let's be real. You know why? Bahamians are too nasty.
It ain't only that. When we have garbage not being picked up on time because we give a contract to crony who ain't doing their job, that is a problem.
I drove behind the vehicle just late last week. In fact, I think it was Friday afternoon.
Oh, they throw stuff out.
And it is the most vexing thing because once these people cross over to the U.S. approval to say you could go to Miami,
Can't do it.
That
You'll
they
never
never
do it.
litter.
Never.
But out here in
Never
the
do it.
Bahamas,
Yeah, they got no
everything is
respect.
just, you drink it, you eat it,
No respect.
it's thrown out there.
No
And so
respect.
the thing is, it's also us. Yeah, the garbage collection, fine. But let's just start with what is it that we can do that we don't. And we refuse to do it.
The garbage action has been pretty decent over the last.
It has been.
But let's take, for
It
example,
has been.
the last holiday that just passed, right?
Uptake.
And then last holiday, speak of the last holiday, Glenroy, one second, Glenroy. I bet if you go out, perhaps, but today is Tuesday, it might be clean now. The last holiday, go to Goodman's Bay, for example.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to
Go
do.
right ahead, sir.
Because I was actually at Goodman's Bay. But here's the problem. We know thousands of Bahamians visit the beaches on a holiday. Why we don't have proper receptacles there for them to dump their stuff in once they're completed? Now, yes, Bahamians can take their stuff with them and drop it someplace, but they're only going to do that and drop it someplace that it needs not to be dropped. But if you have sufficient receptacles out there that they could put it in, they would probably do that. When you look at some of the garbage, there's so much garbage in the small garbage. They have them all around the garbage. Why? Because there's no bigger garbage to put it in. So we know, see, these are the kind of simple things. These are elementary stuff that we can fix. We just need to get serious about it and do it.
You're absolutely right, but I'll tell you this. What is that? Goodman's Bay could have had garbage all around the whole track that you walk. You know the path that you walk?
Yes.
And they would still dump it right there on the ground.
Yeah.
That's just these people.
That's nasty.
Okay?
Let's face it, we're nasty people.
That.
Look at the old cars in the yard.
That.
I mean, I go to these places,
These makeshift garages, man.
And
Disturbing the
they keep them
quality
there.
of life.
For
yes.
10 years, they never move.
10, you better call years.
They never move. And then you go to ask me the car, Mr. Miller, tell them I don't take that, but I can fix that next week. And you can't fix it, I'm left, you can fix the car.
Listen. We are beyond the headlines. Listen, you guys, you saw that very chilling video of the shooting on at some restaurant. We'll talk about it, where the kid had to be dodging, and while the man who was being shot at kind of just listen, y'all. We talking about what we talk about. We mentioned the healthcare system. Travis talked about inflation and all this bunch of stuff. Listen, and the thing, as I asked him, and I'll ask you all as I go to the break. Changing the mindset of the people right there. Changing the mindset. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
After I was in a plane crash in June 1983, I lost my left arm. I had some good friends came along, fishing guides. They said, man, we can teach you to fly fish. Exumo. Can you see? Look at it, man. One of the nicest places you want to be in the world. There were challenges learning to cast, learning to put a fly on a leader, learning to tie the different knots for me as a handicapped individual. As a matter of fact, I don't really feel handicapped because I could do everything, man. Anything anybody could do, I think I could do it too. Because with your mindset to do anything, no matter what you are, what you look like, what's happening to you, you can do it. Persons in our positions, it's hard to get fundings and very, very expensive. SBDC would be helpful in regards to help funding people with disabilities. So nothing is impossible if you're disabled, any kind of disability. Put faith in God and trust God. Believe you will overcome.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
Win a brand new 2026 GAC MPOW every week for 5 weeks. Every 10 reward points earns you 1 digital entry. The more entries you gain, the better your chances to win. 5 weeks, 5 cars. Will you be one of our lucky winners? Catch the keys today, only at Island Luck. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so game responsibly.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
I thank you all so much for participating this evening. Listen, just to pick up, and I have a question to ask y'all because I wanted to ask, Travis said this and I have to ask y'all and see if y'all agree. But thank you all so much for your comments. It's a million comments. I can't get to all of them, but here's this one, just on what we were talking about just a minute before we went to the break. The rats are here, Glenroy, and they look prosperous. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Listen, you ever, man, the other day going to throw my garbage. The doggone rat sitting on the fence, right? He look at me like, what I doing here? You know that commercial with Greg Lamkin? Pinder, what you doing here? Yeah. That's how the rat look at me.
No, but these rat
man, listen, they fat and they big. They prospering.
Listen to me. That's it. These rat and the pot cakes, they, in certain neighborhoods, they look at you like, you can go around or what?
Man.
So that rat look at
you. Rats now. Yeah. you ever see rat run pot cakes?
No one all on those cases. I've never seen.
Yeah, rat used to run pot cakes.
Man, no way.
Yeah, man. Be killing them play dogs.
Listen to me. So the comment says, rats are here because we are nasty and we don't enforce our laws. Hear that, agencies, okay? Yeah. Goodman's Bay now. Y'all know Goodman's Bay. Like I tell you all, Goodman's Bay can have 1 million dumpsters there. 1,000,001. And so the comment said the Goodman's Bay has dumped or had dumpsters. No. And the people will use it to dump their garbage from their homes.
Yeah, but see, we have to be realistic, right? In a public place, you need to be consistent. Whether you pay a fee to come out to Goodman's Bay, just to access the land and all that stuff, and that takes care of the person who keeping the place clean. You need when you have a large group of people in a certain area, you need that consistent cleanliness. Every hour they come out and they move stuff. That's how it needs to be done.
No,
you look at some of the restrooms run by Goodman's Bay. You can't even use those restrooms. No. God forbid if you need to use the bathroom, you probably got to go home and do it in the water. It's terrible. On the fire where the jet ski guys, where the jet ski guys, where the jet ski guys are, and it's a horrible state.
West. Goodman's Bay proper? West.
We don't have pride in ourselves, though.
Just off.
On my coconut tree. I didn't know that.
Pot cakes.
Pot cakes.
You understand what I'm saying? Listen, y'all. Listen. Travis said a lot when he was here. And by the way, I gave him F&M. Y'all go. Please talk to the sales and marketing people. So because he
come on, Travis.
Listen. I wanted to ask him about some nominations, but I said, okay, let me just leave that alone tonight, right? No, Travis handled himself. But Travis said this, gentlemen, I need your response on this one. Travis said the F&M is trending in the best ways nationwide, and the people are now into the F&M and are paying attention to the F&M. Is the F&M trending in the direction he says?
Well, obviously, the F&M has its challenges, just like any other party would have its challenges, right? And so I expect that there are going to be some who favor and some who don't. The reality is whoever's going to win this election is the one that has a message that really reaches the Bahamian people to a point that it elevates them and lifts them out of the dungeons and the downward spiral that we are seeing today. I mean, rent is sky high in this country. Talking to people, I mean, rent for 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartments is out of this world. It makes no sense. No, people are facing, if you add up your light bill over the last 3 years, you would have seen that you've been paying light bill over your backside for the last more than what you paid in years prior to that. Grocery bills are high. I mean, the amount of things that people are paying out in this country, taxation is high in this country. Right now, people are going through. I don't know how people are surviving, and the fact is that we need to come with a serious message, or whoever it is that's coming with a serious message, and not only just a message, something that really provides the opportunity for people to advance themselves in a way that doesn't rely on just government to do it.
And that is what I'm happy to hear you say that. Yes, and that's why I'm saying even about keeping clean, and thank you very much. I don't know if this is Grand Bahama or not, but they say, why is Freeport so clean? Aren't they Bahamians too?
Because they adhere to the rules and regulations.
Thanks very much. Exactly. So why is Freeport? Thank you.
They don't have the large number of people.
They can have two. Freeport. So then the less people you can see more dirt. Freeport is very clean. Stop.
We have over 100,000 people. Yeah, almost 200,000 or more in this little island.
I agree with you that really there's some pain out there in our country, New Providence. You go into the inner cities, and you feel the pain. You sometimes pairs come to you, you go in some of those blighted areas. People that catch you turn it head, and one of the things that really bothers me, like it bothers you, why would an apartment in Stapleton Gardens that 5 years ago was renting for $1,200 for 2 bedrooms now for $2,000?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the justification for it?
The justification is this, gentlemen. Here's what
supply and demand.
Supply and demand. But
what about the conscience?
No, but what conscience? More importantly, first of all, you always destroy people's place when you go there. But on top of that, Airbnb has emerged as
that's what you have there now.
As the ticket out. So understand, people are not keen anymore to say apartment for rent.
You're absolutely right.
Because why? It's not going to be destroyed. The people will come there for their short-term stay, and they will leave, and then you clean it, and you wait for the next one. Because, again, they don't incur so much expense having to go and basically rebuild and remodel this apartment all over again, because Bahamians figure they can do you in when they move out.
But there's a direct correlation between the suffering people face it and the things that we have seen of late. when you have high rent that they can't pay and they are confined to areas where there's 16 and 5 of them living in one house, you start to see depression rise, which we've been seeing in this country. You start to see suicides on the increase because people are facing some serious challenges. People are losing their minds. We got a lot more homeless people on the streets right now. People are living out of their cars in this country in a higher fashion. So these are the adverse effects of high cost of living. We got to get serious in this country. Bahamians are paying too much money just to live and survive in their own country. Something is wrong with this picture.
The government main challenge right now is to produce house after house after house.
Well, I think, I'll tell you, it's funny you all said that.
We should get the Chinese to come and build us some houses who are there right now at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, that they can build 1,000 houses in a year. And we can't build 1,000 in 5 years.
Leslie, it is. China got a trillion people, but Leslie, it's funny you said that. I reached out to the Minister of Housing because I've seen stuff that he is doing, and I'm like, sir, you need to come and talk to the Bahamian people because housing now is the number one thing on everybody's minds.
Number one priority.
I reached out to him this week. I reached out. I mean,
he's doing a wonderful job.
You all would think I relax and rest on the weekend. Hey, no, I be working and I keep my ears to the ground of what people are saying, and then I try to reach out to the authorities.
Acquiring many properties for putting houses every day you look in the newspaper.
But can we also marry the opportunity for housing with proper lending institutions that are not charging Bahamian people out of their backsides, where we have sufficient amount of monies to sustain themselves?
Is a joke.
We have a lot of people that are paying these mortgages for 20 and 40 and 50 years and stuff like that, and can't still get a break because they borrowed $180,000, $200,000, and by the time that they finish paying their mortgage, they've already spent almost $1.5, $1.2 million. Something is wrong with that. That is their retirement money. Something is wrong with this picture.
Leslie, Glenroy answered my question. Leslie Miller. Glenroy answered me, but you didn't. Is the F&M trending in the direction as Travis say they are?
I trust that what the young man said is absolutely true, because if they keep on that same course that they're on, the PLP will have nothing to worry about.
What you say?
Nothing whatsoever.
Parking out by the bush.
These guys in the world, if they keep on that trend.
Parking out by the bush?
Yeah, turn on that trend. The people entering you, they listen to you, they're trending. But brother, I know the man live in the twilight zone. I'm out there every single week of my life, okay? And I'm yet to see 5 F&Ms on the road, even if they nominated, except on Saturday when they can have a little ice cream giveaway.
Well, the F&M out there.
Some other little thing.
The F&M out there.
Like this weekend, the lady out in St. George had an ice cream giveaway.
What ice cream?
Ice cream.
Leslie, it's probably hot.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Sugar and heat is a different.
I'm very good.
That's dying a good
Even though
mix.
they didn't give it a nomination, she's out there trending. And just this idea of trending. Listen, people are hurting out there.
For sure.
As you said, the message is going to be very important.
Yep.
The 2 most important aspects that I'm seeing in the country today, number 1 is housing, the high cost of living, and the legal immigration problem. Bahamians are upset about those.
We will continue to stay on all those issues. Certainly tonight, I don't know, Justin, I think you took time from me. I do believe you did that. Because what time did we start tonight? That's all I have to ask. Thanks. Thank you so much. But I thank you all. I thank Travis Robinson at the top of tonight's show for coming in and for, he had a lot to say, and I hope to get response and even bring him back and bring someone who can kind of respond to the things that he's saying as he's saying it, who should be better versed. And then, of course, I thank my panelists here, Leslie Miller and Glenroy Pratt, for responding and giving their opinions. Your voice, that's what they represent. Your voices, your thoughts here on the show. Nothing scripted, nothing rehearsed, and certainly nothing censored. So they share exactly as they call it as they see it. And so I thank you both very much. And I want to thank you all for tuning in this evening. I certainly enjoyed having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. Leslie, why are you doing this?
What's going on? Intervene for 2 seconds.
Leslie, the show didn't finish. Leslie, with the 2 seconds, you
I'm saying that the saving grace really for the governing party is that the people aren't hating on their leader, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Brave Davis. That's what the PLP got going for it. They love their leader, most people.
I thank you all so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.